Hey, it is Jody of Fervor Voice. It's June 27th. June is almost gone. I am here today to talk to you about Legacy 2. So, this is the piggyback off of Legacy number 1. And I'm basically going a little bit deeper as far as how I got here, what had to happen for things to kind of open up on a greater level. Some things that we kind of don't accept given what society has taught us, given what our normal traditions are, and culture is, and all of those things. And sometimes we have to take a look at that. And we have to say to ourselves, does that even fit anymore? Does that even align anymore? Let's talk about that. Let's do it. Legacy 2. Let's go. Hey, Jody Maynard, Legacy 2. Let's get right to it. So, the main thing that I wanted to focus on for this episode was literally the understanding that legacy, for me, at this point in my life, has nothing to do with what the legacy was before, who I was before. Just something that happened recently. And I like to use my own examples because I'm just trying to throw my own stuff out there without throwing anybody under the bus. I just don't have the patience. I just don't have the attachment to issues like I did before. So with my legacy now, since we are still talking about legacy, with my legacy now, it really doesn't have anything to do with making sure that people understand. I used to make myself crazy having arguments with people and going back and forth and forcing, do you understand now? Do you understand? You understand what I'm saying, right? You understand what I'm saying, right? And I did this constantly whenever there was a disagreement or bumping of heads with someone. It would make me crazy until I got my point across. There would be so much, and I would talk to other people about, oh, what do you think about this? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So beyond how you want to live here, how you want to leave here, and what you want your legacy to be, beyond that, there has to be strength. And there has to be a strong, established footing in what you think, what you believe, and how you feel. I think for me, for a long time, it was important for me to get people to agree. Well, don't you think that? Well, all I'm saying is, yeah, but at this point, I get to where I'm getting, I say what it is that I'm saying, and sometimes it may come out wrong, sometimes it may be offensive. I get all that. But sometimes things just need to be said. And sometimes I don't feel like I said them correctly, but sometimes that other person needed to hear something in particular, and it needed to hit them in a certain way. Just like me, I receive messages sometimes, and it's like, okay, was that necessary? Apparently so. Apparently so. But what I'm saying is being strong enough to accept that someone else's opinion is just not going to be the same as yours. That someone else may be upset with you, with me, and I don't need to explain it. Being okay with someone else's disagreement with me, or being okay with the fact that I am no longer the Jody I was September 17th, 2021. I have never had that thought. And I think that that's part of the reason why I'm able to say what I'm saying is that it doesn't even matter what someone else is saying or thinking. Do people's opinions sometimes hurt my feelings? Absolutely. Just like sometimes people's opinions build me. When someone says, oh, I heard, oh, that episode, whatever particular episode, now that one, I had to listen to that again. You don't think that makes me feel good? Puts me on a high. Puts me on a high. But then there are some opinions that put me on a low. Hey, how you doing? And the only thing that I can do is take it in and build from it. That's the only thing I can do. It may or may not change my perspective, may or may not. But if it doesn't change my perspective, I need to be able to stand in that. It's all good. So, with that, car just went by. Sounds so much louder today. I don't know. So, having said that, acceptance. When I leave here, I want it to be known and I want it to be understood that I accept people the way they are and who they are. The way they are and for who they are. And it doesn't matter whether I favor them, whether they're a favorite of mine or not. But did I accept them? So long as you understand about me, that there's a level of acceptance that says you are here for a reason, you are walking in your light, you are doing the best that you can, and I accept that, regardless of who you are, regardless of what had been done. Now, not to be confused with, I'm okay with it, because just like everything else, about building yourself, about growing yourself, there's an art to this, there is an art to this. And you don't always make it there quickly, and I may not make it there, period. This is the mindset, though. And I don't always hit the mark, and I'm good with not always hitting the mark, because when I hit the mark every single time, my journey might be over. And I'm just not ready yet. Yes, there are some days where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know. But those days are far and few. Unlike months ago, where they were so constant, I wasn't even okay with recording episodes. And it's going to come and it's going to go. I understand that. But acceptance. So let me give you an example. Had a conversation with someone very close to me. And they asked me about someone. I said, I don't know. I have not reached out, lately, because I've reached out several times and didn't get a response back. Well, on the other end, this person said, yeah, but sometimes they just do that. So I still don't stop trying to get in contact. Okay, well, that's you. That was my response. I'm paraphrasing. So that's you, and that's okay. No, and this is the other end. No, that person is still significant. That's not what I want to be. I do not need to convince anyone to do anything the way I'm doing it. That's a lack of acceptance. So when I say to someone, this is the decision that I've made, and I mean that. And if there's a conversation to be had, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm up for it, maybe I'm not. But being able to accept, unlike this person was able to accept, is not who I want to be. Friends, all I'm saying to you is, when someone is doing something, saying something that you do not like or that you do not agree with, it's not your job to stop them. It's not your job to correct them. It's not your job to make them think like you think. You can give your opinion all day long. You can ask them, you mind if I kind of give you my perspective on that? And if they say yes, okay, then you're good. But to push your opinion and what you think based on your experience and your feelings, that ain't it. That ain't it. Because I'm going to tell you what happened next. Next thing that happened was I gave myself permission to walk away. And once I gave myself permission to walk away, that's when I had peace of mind. Let me just say that when you lose someone significant to you and you keep going and you keep building, nobody can hurt you. Nobody can hurt you. The loss that I had absolutely forced me to understand the amount of strength that I had. And once I recognized that, that's when I said to myself, I don't owe anybody anything. I don't have to. Traditions are not my life. Things that people ask of me, I request. And if I feel like not honoring it, I'll let you know. If I do, I'll let you know. Being able to be honest enough with yourself and be honest with other individuals and let them know that I'm walking my own path. And if it's not aligned with yours, that is okay too. But to accept that someone else may be differing with you, to accept that someone else has a different opinion and a different feeling, different emotion. I didn't want to celebrate Mother's Day. And it would have been nice for this particular person to say, you know what? I haven't felt that way. I don't feel that way. But I can accept that. Instead of saying, oh, you need to get back to celebrating because that's what's important. Important to who? Important to who? That's that acceptance thing again. Accepting that you feel the way you feel and you're going to do what you feel like doing, and accepting the fact that they may not agree. Accepting the fact that your relationship will change if it remains at all. Has to be accepted. Part of my legacy is definitely acceptance. I didn't have that before. I was trying to change people's opinion, change how they thought about certain things. Well, maybe you can look at it this way. Maybe you can see it this way. No. I want another part of my legacy to be, she was willing to accept whatever, whenever. Now that whenever is the hard part. I don't know. That's going to take some work. But getting to a place of acceptance, because once you have acceptance, you absolutely have peace. I didn't say you wouldn't have pain. I didn't say that. But acceptance brings about a certain level of peace. Because you recognize that this is how it is at this point. This is what it is now. And I'm going to have to navigate through this too. Damn. There's something else. I got to navigate through this too. And you have to be up for it. Because this is your life. And it's your life work. But if you can accept it, you can think your way through it, you can process it, and be better for it. There is no reason to try to fight a battle with convincing someone to believe what you believe, think what you think. No. Give people the opportunity to feel what they feel and be who they want to be. Surround themselves with who they want to surround themselves with. That's when you will become that person that people trust. People trust to be able to confide in. Judgment turns people away. But acceptance will allow people to trust in you and allow people to feel comfortable. I think that is probably one of the most important things to me. You don't have to agree with me ever. You don't have to agree with me ever, but understand and trust that I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm going to tell you how I feel, and I expect that you will accept it. And if you don't, we already know what happens after that. So I volunteer with hospice, and I don't really know why I started doing that. Not fully, not 100%. Why I decided to do that. Something in me just kind of made me feel like there was something else to give, that there was something that I could gain. I gained acceptance. I gained more acceptance because I understood and I realized that losing my son wasn't anything personal. It is life. I learned that I'm not the only one who has lost a child, and I won't be the last. There's hospice for kids, there's hospice for adults, for seniors, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, every age group. And they're all somebody's son, somebody's daughter. All of them are. And the result is the same. It's still separation. And at the end of the day, it's still acceptance. Your level of acceptance is literally related to your happiness. The less you're willing to accept, the less happy you will be. Less fortunate you will be. And that scenario that I spoke about, where this person was, telling me what I needed to do, once I released that, and once I had peace of mind, doors started opening, opportunities started coming through, and I kept it moving. So I know I did the right thing. I know I did the right thing because it's kept me focused on the things that I've wanted to do, and it's kept me focused on a goal. Not just one goal, several goals. And I'm proud of myself for it. So at the end of the day, seek out opportunities that will allow you to learn, that will allow you to grow, even the scary ones. Probably especially the scary ones. Those are the ones that teach you the most. First day I went in to volunteer for hospice, I was very nervous about that. But as you spend time with people, as you spend time with loved ones, as you spend time with friends, you understand that we're all in this thing together. We're all here to walk each other home. And hopefully, the day you go home, someone will be with your family member, someone will be with your loved one that is understanding, that is empathetic, that is accepting of however it is that they feel. That's my wish. someone understanding and accepting can be with my family members and my loved ones. Because when they're not, it creates a whole nother animal. And who would wish that on anybody? Acceptance, y'all. That's what's important. That's what matters. I am tongue-tied and have been tongue-tied all day. I guess I needed to get this out. This whole acceptance situation. Once you get to that point where you have acceptance, you get to that point of peace, and you get to that point of opportunities, and you start working things out in ways that you could never have imagined. It'll just happen. So make your legacy beyond those personal goals, the things that you have worked on all your life. Besides those things that you have worked on all your life. Besides those things that are characteristic to you. Make acceptance part of your legacy. That is your peace. And I feel like I've said this before in so many words in another episode, but I truly, truly mean this because this was an experience that I just recently had about acceptance. Think about it. Think it through. I hope this episode was meaningful to you. I hope you were able to understand some things, and I hope there are some things for you to talk about and process with, I don't know, friends, family, whomever. And think about that. Acceptance, y'all. That's my legacy too. That was my piggyback. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you. I hope to hear from you next time. Make sure that you check the episode notes for questions and different things. I love to hear back from y'all and let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what you might want me to talk about. Just give me some feedback, whatever it is you want to talk about. Also, be sure to go onto fervorvoice.com. I no longer have the same website. Now I have a different website that is updated. I have my certification for life coaching now. And that's another opportunity that's really made me proud and I'm really happy about. So please, please, please go on to fervorvoice.com, check out my website, and send me an email or just some communication. I'm here for it. All right. Thank you for listening, y'all. Have a wonderful day. See y'all soon. Bye. Hey, y'all, back with the recap. I'm losing my voice, so bear with me. I'm going to run through this as quickly as I can. I like a 2-minute recap. Sometimes I hit it, sometimes I don't. But the first point that I got out there was the fact that I don't need to argue my point, except that maybe someone agrees, maybe someone does not. Universe delivers messages in just the way it's supposed to be delivered. And that's it. Arguing my point is just not a thing, period, point blank. The next point that I focused on was the fact that I'm just not the Jody prior to my son's passing. That Jody is gone. Not a bad thing. But you'll get a version of her. You're just not going to get her anymore. You won't get Jody from September 17th, 2021. I feel different now. I look at people in a way that's a little deeper now. Judgment, is far less. I'm not perfect, so some things are still, some judging is still there. It does still exist, but it's nowhere near like it used to be at all. I accept also the next point, actually, just accepting that work, working at acceptance. It's not an automatic thing. The work is there. Being okay with it takes work. Accepting things that people do, accepting things that people say. But the goal is to get there. That's the goal. The next point I talked about was how I had to give myself permission to walk away from a certain situation, from a certain relationship. And it wasn't just one, multiple close ones. Because I have to walk in my strength and on my path. And I can accept if they don't agree. I can accept that. That's totally fine. It is what it is. Acceptance. And I talked about that being important to my legacy, a legacy of acceptance. I also talked about my volunteer work and how my volunteer work miraculously brought me around to a deeper level of acceptance. I never would have thought that, but that is exactly what happened. And that was an opportunity that did come and grow me. And I hope that you all will think about taking some chances on some opportunities to allow you to grow, just the way I did with this one. And at the very end, I mentioned my website, talked about my having a new website, and that is fervorvoice.com. And Fervor Voice is basically my website that is focused on exactly what I do, each aspect of coaching. So I coach teachers, I coach individuals for accountability, student parent coaching, because that is a big part of miscommunication. I hate to say it, but yeah, it is. That's a big part that does need to be worked on. At this point in the summer, this is the perfect time to start thinking about those things. Where do you need the support between your student and yourself when you talk about either going to school or the education process, whatever? Also, student coaching. It's not tutoring. I don't tutor. I do coach. And there's a good mix, a good balance going on with that. And if you're interested in that, please click on my Calendly link on my website, set up a free 30-minute consultation, and we'll figure out what needs to be done and we'll get it done. So anyone that needs support from me, anyone that feels like, yeah, I could definitely benefit from that, go ahead and go onto my website, go to my Calendly link, go to services actually, and there's a button to click for a free consultation. And you can set yourself up and we'll talk. All right? Thank you for listening. I appreciate you being here, and I will talk to everyone soon, probably in about a week. All right? Talk to you later. This is Jody of Fervor Voice signing off. Peace.